Welcome back to Third Minute. I'm Zack Phillips, and tonight breaking down Game 7 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, defeating the Dallas Stars here tonight 4-1 with an empty netter from John Tavares. Another incredible performance from Joseph Woll and William Nylander and John Tavares, now up to 7-game point streak, 7 for 7 to start the season for them. So great stuff there. We'll break it all down, break down tonight's win, break down the goals that happened, Joseph Woll taking over this starting job, and this Leafs team moving to 5-2 so far on the year. But before we get into all of that, I just want to remind people, if you are watching right now, you have not hit that subscribe button, please take 2 seconds out of your day to hit the like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications here on this channel so you get notified every single time that we go live or videos drop breaking down news, rumors, injuries, trade talk, all that kind of stuff surrounding this Leafs team. So you're not going to want to miss any of that. You're going to want to be subscribed here to this channel. We're getting real close there. I want to see, by the time that this is over, I mean, we could definitely hit 200 subscribers here on this channel. I want to see it, but let's get into the most important thing here of the night. I mean, I could wait. I could make people hold on. I'm not going to do it. It's late. We had to wait for this Leafs game to start at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, I mean, yes, 7 Central. So for those of you in that Central time zone, I mean, this is just a normal day for you to get to watch these 7 p.m. games. And sometimes I envy that because I think the 7 p.m. or the Central time slot is actually a pretty good slot for watching games across the East into the West. But nonetheless, it is later for those of us out on the East, so this will be a little bit of a shorter show. We want to jump into things right away here. First and foremost, the comment here from Joe Hill. He might be onto something. This Leafs team might finally have a netminder. Joseph Woll here tonight, 31 saves, a .969 save percentage, 1 goal against. This is obviously following up a .973 save percentage, which was following up a performance against the Tampa Bay Lightning in which he went in, and I believe he made 29 saves there to help this Leafs team roll straight through the Tampa Bay Lightning in a comeback win the other night. You roll it over into the game the other day against Washington, where the Leafs didn't play that great. They were pretty flat, but Joseph Woll comes out. He was pretty incredible. .973 save percentage, 36 saves, 1 goal against. And then you go here tonight, .969 save percentage, 31 saves, 1 goal against here again tonight to help this team go to 5-2 on the season. Joseph Woll might be the guy. I mean, I had talked about it. I predicted he was going to be the one to take it. Looking at the way that this guy plays, it's not just about the numbers that have been put up and the results that this team has gotten. It's more even about how he plays. It's about his style in the net. It's about the calmness that he exudes throughout the game that transfers over to the rest of the team, where you can kind of sit there and say, we can trust that guy. We don't have to play scramble hockey because we have a stud goaltender in net behind us. Shout out to Joseph Woll for stepping into this role, stepping in behind a guy who did sign a big contract this offseason, is going to be a free agent at the end of this year, and is going to be fighting for his job and sitting there and saying, this is going to be my net. I'm going to take over this net because I am ready. I am ready to be a starting goaltender. I am ready to take the leap into a full-time NHL position, and Joseph Woll has looked great. 6 1/3 here saying Gord Miller said he wants to be called Woll, not Wall. All right. Well, we can change that up. Woll. I mean, we did call Aberzacy, or however you want to say that, abracadabra for, I mean, a year basically plus with Goody on the show. And actually, we do got to get Goody calling into the show, or at least showing up on some streams here, because we would like to be able to see Goody, one of the OGs over on the other channel, popping in here and contributing. But, I mean, just in terms of where Joseph Woll is at, this guy's a starting goaltender, and this is his net until he loses it. This isn't even something for me where I think Samsonov can hop in and play well and take this, because until Joseph Woll decides that he's not going to show up or he's going to have a bad game, and if at the same time Samsonov is playing well and well enough to hop in and kind of command the net at the same time, like they just kind of are two ships passing in the night where Wool all of a sudden is going one way and Samsonov's going the other. That's kind of the only situation that I could see this net flipping back the other way. If Samsonov steps in here and he has a good game in his next appearance, I don't think that this just automatically goes back to him. I think that the way Joseph Wool has played over the last little while, this is his net, and he deserves to be the guy in this net. Because you step in not only in relief of your partner, but you step in relief of your partner on the road against a rival team in the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that had eliminated this Leafs team a couple of years in a row. You finally get over the hump with beating them last year, but you know Tampa's going to be hungry. They go out and say all this nonsense in the media about, oh yeah, they can't get used to winning in the first round, and yeah, congrats to them for doing it for the first time, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're right about what they said, but it's also kind of comes across sour as the team who was knocked out by them the year before. He steps into that rival game down 3-1 and backstops this team through 2+ periods to help them get to that win. And then you just continue that momentum, continue what you had done, continue to roll that over. Wool has played incredible. He stepped up as a young kid. He stepped up in the playoffs. He's done every single thing that you've asked of him so far in his young career here as a professional. I don't see any reason that this net should be taken away from him. He looks very, 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 very good. And truthfully, to me, this is his net. Samsonov lost it. Wool jumped into it and hit the ground running. And now it would take something to be switching back the other way for it to go back for this to be Samsonov's net again. So that's kind of where I'm at on the goalie situation. I think Wool was incredible tonight. There was a couple amazing saves. We'll get to those throughout the show. As you guys know, we do the play of the game here, so we'll get to some of that stuff. I do have some thoughts there, but let's read some of the stuff going on in the chat before I get into some more of my points. 6 1/3, JT and Willie, both 7-game point streaks to start the season. Yes, brought that up kind of to start the show off, but amazing stuff from both those guys. Look, I will get into this right now. William Nylander is the best player on the Maple Leafs on a consistency basis. He was the best player on the ice for both teams tonight. He was the best player on the ice for both teams the other game against the Washington Capitals. He played incredible in the game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was probably the best player on the ice against the Florida Panthers. William Nylander has stepped up this season and been absolutely incredible so far this year. That man needs to be paid, and he needs to be paid right now, because I'm not going to get into the talk about 16, but he is the best winger that this Leafs team has right now. And the longer that this goes, the more it feels like his contract value just goes up and up and up and up. I did a video the other day where I was talking about an article that Chris Johnson had put out, or an interview that Chris Johnson had done, where he was saying, well, yeah, the Leafs know that he wants to sign here. He wants to be with this Leafs team. And you know what? That's fine, and that helps us for sure. But the problem is that he's going to kind of walk away from this and be like, I want to be here. I want to be with this team. That being said, he's going to be a UFA, not an RFA. So he's not going to be in a situation where he's going to say like, hey, I'll hold out for this contract. He's going to be in a position where he could say, yeah, guess what? This team called me and they're offering me this. This team called me and they're offering me that. You're going to be in a battle for this guy where he might want to go to only the Leafs or play only for the Leafs, but he's going to have opportunities to go elsewhere, and it might get a little bit ridiculous for this Leafs team to come in and continuously undersell him when he's still had asked for less than what Marner is currently being paid. And the way that he's playing right now is worth more than what Marner is currently being paid. So for that to be the case, like, Chris Johnson talked about, hey, the Leafs are going to offer an opportunity for him to get 8 years. If he goes to 9.5, then you look around the league and another team would have to come in and offer 11 to meet it at 7, just to keep it simple. Like, you go 9.5 by 8, he's going to come in at $76 million. You go 11 by 7, he's going to come in at $77 million. Like, okay, so another team basically has to offer 10.9 or 10.75 to kind of match what the Leafs could offer, 11 to beat it. That's fine. But if he continues to play like this, his market value will easily exceed the 11. And people might sit there and say, well, Canada tax, Leafs tax, whatever it is. You can sit there and say that. But the honest truth is, his level of play at this point in time, if he continues this on through the entire season, he will legitimately exceed the $11 million market value. And that's probably something where he will be above a $10.5 million player here in Toronto. Not just league-wide, but here in Toronto. So yeah, it'll push up elsewhere, but you're kind of going to cost yourself every game that he continues to do this. Every 7-game stretch where he continues to be this consistent and play this well and be this much in the beast mode that he's in right now, it's going to cost you game by game, week by week, because he is legitimately transforming into a different player right in front of our eyes, and it's getting ridiculous. I talked about it before, how we've seen other players on this team develop at things that they're already good at and make those things that they're already good at better. Nylander has now added other tools to his bag. Look at that play that he made to Morgan Rielly where he makes the pass across. Yes, you can look at it and say he's always been a skilled player. He's always been a good playmaker. That's fine, and that's true. And he obviously got better at those things. But the problem is, on top of that, he's now added physicality. He's not afraid of people. He's not afraid of battles. He's not afraid to get hit or be in the mix. And that play right there is very evident. He goes in there against Dallas, who is a strong, big, physical team, goes in the corner against them, goes 1-on effectively 2. You could say 3 if you want, but it goes 1-on-2 into a corner behind the net battle, wins the battle, comes out, and then calmly plays with the puck going into the corner, coming back around, makes a nasty little toe drag move, and then dishes across to Rielly, backdoor, wide open with no one looking at him. But the entire play developed from him winning a down low puck battle. You know what you would have never, ever said about William Nylander? I can't say last year because I think last year it started to build into his game, but 2 years ago, William Nylander won a down low puck battle, let alone against 2 guys, 1-on-2 in the corner. Nylander goes in there and wins that battle and creates that goal himself. Then you're seeing plays where this guy is chasing guys back, stealing things from guys in the neutral zone, quickly transitioning up ice, and then he just mixes it into the finesse where it's, steal the puck in the neutral zone, quickly turn around, kick the puck up out of your feet, got it on your backhand, toe drag around a guy, but then it's the power forward move. So you've gone from defensively responsible in the neutral zone, stealing the puck from the guy, transitioning puck up ice, toe drag around a guy at the blue line, and then as you're walking in the zone, now you go into a power forward mode where you pull it to your backhand, go one hand, puck protection, drive across. It obviously doesn't result in a goal there, but it's a nice play where he cuts across, tries to make the play. And it's like he's got all these different tools that have now been added to his bag that he didn't have before. And it feels like not only is he adding these from season to season, but these tools are getting better and better as the weeks go on. It's not even from the start of the season and the end of the season. This is like as the week maneuvers here, he seems to be improving as a player and improving on these little things that he's added as the entire season goes on. So William Nylander is going to cost this Leafs team big time. We'll get into some more stuff about how he played here and some other things that went on in this game here tonight. But this William Nylander thing, and I'm seeing more comments in the chat, so I want to get into some of those. But if you are new here to this stream, to this channel, please make sure to hit that like button here while you're watching. I do see a big spike in the numbers of people watching right now. So if you are watching, you did hop in here. Less than half of the people watching have hit the like button. So please make sure to hit like, subscribe here to this channel, and turn on notifications so you get notified every time we go live, because We are one of the few channels here on YouTube that does Leafs post-game streams. So you want to be involved in those. You want to be in the chat. You want to be calling in. You want to be talking to other people, all that kind of stuff. We've got it right here on Third Man In. So make sure to hit that like button right now. Help support the show. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Does help. Does continue to help grow this channel. So I do appreciate that. We're at 197. Like, we could definitely get to 200 by the end of this stream here tonight. That would be appreciated. And then obviously, I mean, we're trying to get to 500 by Christmas, 1,000 by playoffs. 1,000 by playoffs. If we get to 1,000 by playoffs, I don't know. I don't know what it'll do, but we'll figure something out. Maybe we can figure something out as a chat. There you go, 198. But we can figure something out as a community. What will be done? All right, more stuff that I'm seeing. Joe saying time he's watching at right now. Oh, 21:51. What is that? 9:50. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, we're an hour ahead. That's where we're at. Joseph Swoll. Where is this comment from Gord? Gord, Leafs look tired from middle of the second. Woll kept the minute with timely saves. Yeah, the Leafs didn't look that great throughout basically the second half of the game. Woll made some crazy saves there. There were some absolutely big momentum saves that were made. This is something we've talked about before where, it's not always just the highlight reel save. It's the save at the right time. At the right time of the game where, maybe you've been down on the other team's end for 2-3 minutes and you weren't able to score, but then they come down on a fast break on you. Are you going to make that save, or are you going to allow momentum to flip in their direction? Because those are the kinds of things where it can be deflating to your bench to have that happen, where they've been down there battling. Now they're tired. They haven't been able to score, and things come down the other way quickly, and now there's a goal in the back of your net. Those can kill a bench, and it can also jump some life into the other team. Woll made some of those saves here tonight. Fast break opportunities, odd man rushes. Woll stood up and made some incredible saves. He made some saves that are going to be on TSN tomorrow morning. But not only that, he made saves at the right time, at the big time. As much as a big hit, a big fight, a goal can turn things around, a big save in the big moment can also jumpstart a team, give them life, kickstart things there. And Joseph Woll did that stuff here tonight. So shout out to him because he was absolutely phenomenal. 2 more subscribers here, guys. 2 more. If you're not subscribed and you're watching this channel, hit that subscribe. And also 13 people watching right now have not hit the like button while you're watching. It does help get more people here to this channel. So hit that like button, gets more people into the stream. 6 1/3. What's up? Joe saying, Gord, they had the lead tonight and they played shutdown hockey for almost 2 solid periods while backing it up at net. I do agree with that, but I do think what Gord is saying here is right. He's saying they got saggy during at least 3 long cycles of over a minute. Once that ended up in a goal. Another that ended up in a bad line change that resulted in a clear breakaway. Yes, some of these did happen, and these are the little habits that... These are the little habits that kind of creep in that you say, this needs to be eliminated when you get to playoff times. Because when you're in those positions and you're hemmed into your zone, it's less so about whether or not it's good or bad. To have that happen and sit there and say, they were tired, because like Joe, I know they're on a road trip. I know that these things have happened. It's more the quality of play in those moments. No, they didn't get scored on there. No, that didn't happen in some of those spots. But they did kind of get hemmed in. They did kind of get their teeth kicked in at times in the defensive zone. And that's against a really good Dallas team. So, yes, this is a good win, a good character win, good moment for you to be able to say, we got out of some of that stuff while we are on this long road trip. Our goaltender does look really good. There's a lot of positive takeaways. But at the same time, Gord is right about some of this stuff. And, it's a long season. There's 82 games, and this was game 7 of that. So you can take things with a grain of salt here, but you also do have to you do have to pay attention because you could look at some of the situations around the league here as well and be like, oh, well, in this game with Vegas, it's not that big of a deal. But they don't want to allow bad habits to creep in because they want to be a Stanley Cup team again. And they eliminated some of those things over time. So that's kind of where some of that stuff gets to. I just want to make sure that this team is going to eliminate those because these are things that we've seen creep up into the game in the past and become a problem for them, especially in playoffs, especially once you got to round 2 last year, where you're going to sit there and say, like, it's a lot of hockey, and it's a lot of hockey in not a lot of time, especially in the playoffs there. It is physical, demanding hockey, demanding physically and demanding mentally, and it's in a short period of time. It builds up. You got to figure out a way to play through it because just as much as the Leafs are going to have to deal with that, other teams are as well. And the teams that are the best teams, the teams that go on to win the Stanley Cup, then have the most success, are the teams who find ways to deal with that throughout the season. Positive here tonight to be able to get away with a win and have some of those opportunities by Dallas kind of sloughed out, but just eliminate and reduce some of these mental errors that go on. I see some people asking here if Gord is going to call in tonight. Gord is welcome to call in if he wants. I'd be happy to hear from him. I figure he's probably working at school because you have to remember for Gord, this is Friday, midday. He is a teacher, so that's probably not ideal for him. And we were planning on doing a little bit of a shorter show here tonight, but if Gord does want to call in, he's more than welcome to. Now, I do plan or hope to have Gord calling in on Saturday. That's Gord's Sunday. So I'm hoping we can get Gord's Corner going for the first time ever back here on Third Man In. Oh, Gord, if you want to call in, I'm happy to have you. I will send you I will send a link here if you'd like to call in. But if not, people, you can wait for Gord's Corner. Hold on. Let's get this figured out. Maybe we can get Gord in here. All right, but anyways, while I figure this out, we can start to sort in. Okay, there you go. He says he'll call in on Sunday. We'll leave it for that. We'll leave it in for the Saturday night hockey game. We'll hear from our guy Gord at that point in time. But as for now, you guys can wait. You guys can hit like. You can hit subscribe. Build the anticipation up for that Saturday night game. Oh, all right. Well, see if Gord can figure this out. I'll send him the meeting invite. If he does figure it out, then he figures it out. If not, it is what it is. Gord, check your Discord. I'm sending you a message right now. For all the people who just hopped in, I do appreciate the support here. Please make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe here to the channel. Happy to hear from Gord here tonight. But yeah, we do have a bunch of new people who just joined in here. I think we did just hit a record high of viewers here right now, 30. So trying to build back to where we were at before. Let's continue to read through the chat, read through some of your guys' thoughts here. Am definitely interested to see what you guys are thinking, what's going on here. All right. There's a lot. You guys are buzzing here tonight, actually. All right, keep going here. Gordon Graham, Nylander is in beast mode. That assist muscling out 2 guys downloaded to retrieve the puck. Outstanding. Definitely agree with that. I mean, we talk about Nylander, his level of play so far this season. It's been absolutely incredible. I've been in awe with this guy. 7-game point streak now here to start this season. So really, really happy with his level of play, his level of consistency, all of that going on. He's been an incredible player this year, and yeah, starting to almost get a little bit concerning that he's just going to price himself out of Toronto here. And Gord, I did send the link, so if you do want to call in, feel free. 35 viewers right now. Keep hitting like, subscribe to the channel. 2 away from 200 subscribers. Let's get it here while we're watching. Joe Hill, Rangers up over Oilers 3-0 right now. Yes, the Oilers have some issues themselves, and with McDavid out for 2 weeks, it's going to be an issue. Gordon Graham, even their power play looked a little sloppy due to being tired, in my perception. I would agree with that. I think that there was a little bit of slop here tonight. The power play actually has looked pretty good. I think zone entry, the way that they've been able to get in, has been a lot better. I didn't touch on it last game, but what I've been seeing out of this Leafs team in regards to breaking into the zone is something that I've been a lot happier with than years past. Honestly, basically the last 5 years with this team. Gord and I have talked about it before when he's called in, and it's the drop back or double drop back. It can become infuriating because it basically ends up getting to a point where you're just skating into a wall of people, and whether it's a wall of Leafs players or a combination of Leafs players and whoever the opponent is, but the double drop back slows everything up for everybody as you're trying to enter the zone, and now you have one guy attacking in, and say that guy breaks through the line. What is the benefit of this? Because now you have every single guy on your team with everyone else sitting there waiting to get into the line, and no one is moving now. You are all flat-footed except for the one guy who got in. They're not really getting in clean because that blue line is so clogged up, and the other team most often has guys kind of dropped back or set back into that position. So it's not like you're just getting through the line clean and going in on a breakaway. So now what they've kind of done is set it up into a position where they go back one, back up the ice, and then over across and enter on the opposite side. So there's more east-west movement than there necessarily is the north-south, which seems to do really well for this team, or seems to help them out a lot better entering the zone, especially when you have guys who are as good at possessing the puck as these guys are. So, I mean, to be able to see that right now, see that change, see them getting into the zone, I think has been really good. I definitely do have some concerns, though, in regards to just some of the sloppiness, but it seems like William Nylander and it has been kind of a driving factor there. JT has been incredible to start this season, and on top of that, Mitch Marner getting things going here. Looks like he might start to build in, but still kind of needs to be a little bit better because his play outside of just offense and being in the offensive zone hasn't really been up to par, and even in the offensive situations hasn't been 100% what we're looking for out of him right now. So still some stuff to work on, still some things to need to be fixed, need to be improved, but still, again, I mean, you're on a road trip here. Get the win against Tampa. That's a big win. Get the win against Washington. Get a win here tonight. Let's close this thing out Saturday. I believe it's against the Nashville Predators. You get another win, or you walk away at least with a point against the Predators. You can, this has already been a pretty successful road trip from the standpoint of getting points, but you go in there on Saturday, you get that win. Very happy. Very, very happy with this road trip. All right, continuing on with the chat. T-Dot, Nylander playing like he has one of the biggest meat horns in the league. All right, I mean, I guess that's a interesting way to break that down. I don't really have any other way to kind of jump in on that one. Joe Hill, guessing Nylander will sign something in November. Interesting. Gord saying an unsigned Nylander is a hungry Nylander. Hope the Leafs give him what he wants, but after the season, fair enough. I mean, you could see how this plays out, but it's more just a concern for me, like, hey, this might go a little too far. And then don't want him to his price to get completely out of range. But still, fair enough. And I think that if it signs at the end of the season, the other thing too is you could just let him go. You could just let him go all the way through this season, and then it's not going to be in a position where it's going to be kind of like a distraction or anything. All right. There we go. Well, to help talk about his thoughts on the Nylander contract, where things are at there, I'm going to play the animation because you people have been waiting for long enough. I've been waiting for long enough. Here it is.
Okay, are you ready? Let's go! Don't go changing. Do it your way. Go down blazing. Don't go changing. Do it your way. Go down blazing. Sugar, spice, everything nice. Have a little class and do it right. I gotta say the way I feel. That's right. Buttercup, this is serious stuff. I love the people. You ready? Go. I don't get enough time in this show. I love the people. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing? Lovely to look at and delightful to see. Love the hat. A wise guy, eh? You look good, really. You look good. Don't go changing. Do it your way. Go down blazing. Don't go changing. Do it your way. Go down blazing. Doing that one for the old grapes. Go down blazing.
All right, there he is, all the way from overseas. The man, the myth, the legend, the real legend here, Gordon Graham. Welcome for the first time ever to Third Man In. Gord, how's it going?
Ohio gozaimasu.
I assume you said hello. I wish I knew how to say back to you, but
morning.
I appreciate it.
That's
okay,
good morning from my part of the world. Good morning.
Okay. All right. Well,
so good morning to the chat. And,
yes.
Sorry, it's great. It's great to be back. It's good to see you, Zach. I finally found you. So great to be back anyway. So great to be back for another season.
Yes, sorry about that. Had to maneuver things over, start a new channel here, so it was hard. I was trying to get in touch with you and let you know that I had moved over, but I think with the help of some of the people in the chat, we were able to move it over and get some other followers from the other channel over to this one now. But I'm glad you found us.
Yeah, I think I found you throughout the disgruntled comments on the old channel, so I just kind of followed the disgruntled channel, just the disgruntled comments, and I figured it out. So it's all good, man. We're all back, and let's work on getting those 5,000 subscribers back.
Yes,
you earned them,
yes.
buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. Well, Gord, you're somebody that people have been really waiting for to get to hear from here. I know on the old channel, people would get to hear from you basically once a week, pretty much at that point, because you would call in, especially as you mentioned here, you're off. I forgot that it was Fridays you were off too, but I know for sure you have Sundays, and you were able to call in after the Saturday games because that's your Sunday mornings. But people got to hear where you were at, and then took a little while for you to find us here. Now you do, but then for the first couple of games, you weren't able to be in a spot to call in because you were working. 7 games into this season, this Leafs team is 5-2. I mean, we're obviously can talk about this game here tonight. I'm sure you and I will throughout the course of you being on here, but let's go. Where are we at to start this season? What are your thoughts through 7 games?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to think about. So, a lot of changes going on, and, looking at the team, I think most of us are feeling, at times we feel like it's clicking, and other times it just looks so disorganized and scattered, and it's working its way out. And I think this happened last year too. What happens is, and this happens league wide, for some reason it doesn't happen to teams like Boston because they play a certain way all the time. They play like maybe a more old style grinding game, and they play that from the get-go. And that sometimes in an 82 game season, like last year, that can burn you out, right? So look, I've been looking around league wide at a lot of games at the beginning of the year, first couple of weeks. This happened last year. Remember the Western Road trip, which was just a disaster for the Leafs. What happens is, I think they get in so much of these flow drills in the training camp. They want to get their flow going, especially want to get new guys in there. So they want a lot of those quick flow drills, transition drills, those types of things. I mean, there's a few they do like light. I wouldn't say light, but they'll do like battle drills and stuff like that for sure. But a lot of that flow drill, and then what happens is you get the long preseason where nobody's really going out there hitting and stuff. So that looks like shinny hockey. that carries
Yeah.
over, and that looks like that's carried over not only into the Leafs game, but even a grinding team like Jersey that carried over into their game. I've been watching their game. Carolina, another team like that carried over into their games. So I see a lot of that in the Leafs game right now, but
Yeah.
it's coming. There's still a few adjustments that they need to definitely clean up and take care of. And one of the things I notice is when the other team starts cycling, they sag way too much. There's not enough puck pressure on the guy who's got the puck. They'll just sag into the middle, and it looks like five guys playing ball hockey, street hockey goalie. They're just gonna sag off and back and try and cover a lane or something like that. Meanwhile, the other team just going around, looking for that shot, and then finally getting a shot in on net or a tip or a scoring chance. And like that happened a couple of times tonight, and one of them, like I said, resulted in a goal. The other one resulted in a breakaway that all just looked calm as ever and just sealed off the net. So there's that a little bit of looseness and sag that they got to clean up that I noticed. There's a few other things that I've noticed. Sorry, am I going on too much here?
No,
Give you
you're
a
good.
chance
Keep
to
going.
respond?
No, keep
Okay,
going.
there's a few other things.
Yeah.
I thought the D really played great tonight, like especially down once McCabe went out and they were down to five guys. They gritted it out. That was a pretty gritty effort from the D tonight. You have to give them
Yeah.
props for that. Wall came through with some key timely saves and helped them, but I think a lot of the pressure in the D zone was a result of a lot of times tired or kind of, like I said, sagging forwards that weren't pressuring the puck as much as they should have. So the D played great. The D has been playing good. It's hard to say, right? Because it still looks a little bit loose and sloppy at times, like a Klingberg and
Well, it's
Brody
weird because I
especially
think
look
that
like
they
they're
have.
playing.
I was just gonna say I think that they have like these egregious moments of poor play defensively that really stand out because like I think you're right in terms of at least it's developed where it was to start the season. I mean, you can disagree. I'm pretty firm on this is like they were pretty brutal defensively to start this year as a whole. All six guys, team defense, like everything.
Agreed. And I think
Yeah.
it was the shinny hockey. It looked like shinny. It looked like shinny
Yeah.
hockey. It looked that preseason hockey carried over. And
Yeah.
shinny, you just the fly by with the stick kind of trying to tap the puck loose and all,
Little pokes.
Yeah, just those kind like certain like fly, lots of that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
then when the other team's got the puck and they're cycling, they just kind of sag and it gets all loose. And that gives the other team opportunities. They just skating around looking for those opportunities. So yeah, I 100% agree that the defenses look good tonight though. I thought they sealed away. There wasn't a lot of stuff going in the center of a few turnovers, a few sloppy turnovers in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And but other than that, the D looked pretty. I thought they looked pretty solid tonight. But again, they have those hiccups. Like Brody had a couple of hiccups again, right? Like he stumbled the puck a couple of times and turned it over without much pressure either. So that's got to clean up for sure. That's definitely, the Leafs, like Gio basically is. Gio and McCabe are the two physical guys out there. They're the two only real physical guys. Like, I mean, Riley will ride guys off and stuff, and he's heavy. He's got that big ass, so he can protect the puck down below the goal line.
And he's gotten more
it
seems like he's gotten more comfortable and like confident doing that. Like he's mixed that into his game more than he even did like in the past couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely wins a lot of down low battles. So, like I said, so Riley's like physicality. It's not like it doesn't jump out at you, but it's like heavy hockey down low winning battles that it kind of really shows itself. So he looks good out there. Klingberg, he just doesn't want to use his body. He's a stick guy, and Brody's a stick guy. They're two stick guys, which they're good at. Like with their forte is smooth, quick transitions. Brody, or I want to say Klingberg, where Hall would be one steamboat, two steamboat, three steamboat, the play. Klingberg will get it, and it'll be like 1-2 bang, and it's bang, and it's on the stick. It's not in the skates, it's on. So he's really smooth at transitioning and moving the puck the other way. So I think the Leafs are going to benefit from that. But and he's good on the rush. Liljegren really has jumped out as playing really well. I thought Liljegren has been playing really well. He's more physical. He's solid. He doesn't really jump out, but he does a lot of little things good. I really like his game. And
he seems to have found some mojo here in this top four. I think maybe he's kind of gotten the right amount of minutes where he's got the right amount of there has to be some type of flow to a guy's game, because I mean, even when you're playing, if you go and play men's league, if you play with two lines of forwards, and it's a shorter game, then you can kind of get into it a little bit more, and you're rotating every other one, and you kind of get into the feel of the game. But then it's like, okay, now all of a sudden you play men's league and you've got three lines instead of the two that you normally have. The rhythm, we're playing men's league, but the rhythm all of a sudden isn't there, where you're not going at the same pace, and you're not into the same level of comfort. Where now Liljegren, okay, you're top four, you're playing top four, you're playing the same minutes, you're playing the same roles. Not only that, the one thing people don't really consider a lot of the time here too with some of these guys, especially in the NHL, when the line matching and home away is so important, is where is Liljegren going to be primarily starting on the ice, on faceoffs? Is he in the offensive zone, or is he in the defensive zone? Well, playing in the top four, he might start to get into some more roles where he's going to be starting where he's more comfortable on the ice, which allows him to get more into the shift and the feel of the game. And truthfully, like, Gord, I don't think that Liljegren's jumping off the page at me and I'm sitting there going, wow, this guy's looking incredible this year. But I do kind of have the same takeaway as you, where it's like, yeah, he looks good, and that's kind of what you need.
Here's my take. He looks like an NHL defenseman, whereas before he looked like a guy on, he's teetering on the verge. Could he be an NHLer? Is he gonna, is he a borderline NHLer? Is he gonna be like just a number 6 guy for the rest of his career? But he looks like a solid NHL defenseman now, and he's heavier. He's boxing out guys in front of the net way better than he had been. Like every year, he takes just an incremental step up. So I like Liljegren. I like Liljegren back there. I don't know. Brody is the guy I have the least amount of confidence in, because he just, like I said, he's fluid. His transition game is great. But that shinny hockey, there's one or two blips a game that ended up in scoring chances. So it's those are the kind of things that you can forgive it in a long 82 game season, but that's the thing that's going to kill you in the playoffs. That's the play that's going to kill you in the playoffs. So he's got to clean those up. And
yes.
Anyway, the Leafs, we all know that the Leafs are going to have to get a defensive defenseman for. I'm looking around the league like, oh, please start taking a nosedive Nashville, because maybe McDonough will be available or something, Already I'm doing that,
I got one for you, Gord. It's tough to swing because True Living just came from there, and I don't think typically they like to do this. He is a massive monster of a human being.
I know who you're gonna say, and he's had a disgruntled comment the other day about the competition of the team, and that's what you want, a guy who's pissed off about the competition level, who's got that size and that grit, right-handed shot, got some nastiness. That would be a perfect fit. That's
Nikita Zadorov for those unfamiliar. Yeah. That's the
and
guy
they might have some young guys that they might be tempted to take if you got a guy who's disgruntled in the dressing room, and you might be able to weasel a Robertson and a pick away for a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? They might be tempted, like, we're lack scoring and some speed on the wing, and we got to. You never know, right? So there's a possibility. We'll keep our fingers crossed for something like that to happen. So a couple other things I wanted to know.
It's just the way he plays in this confidence.
Yeah.
And he's 28 too. That's also another thing to throw out there. He's a younger guy. Like, typically we've seen them trade for these guys who are like 30, 31, 32. He's 20.
Yeah. And he's sound defensively.
Yeah,
He's a big guy, but he's pretty fluid skater. Like I've keyed on him a
yeah.
little bit. And he's
That's
pretty
my guy.
nasty too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I
What
have
do you have for me here, Gord?
yeah. So another thing about the forward lines is I really want to see Nyes up on that first line. I want to see Nyes. It's like they're trying other guys there. Like I'm
Okay. Well,
disappointed with
before you go
Bertuzzi.
forward, I'm gonna ask you
Yeah,
this. Um, Do you think, because this is my theory right now, the only reason that Nyes hasn't jumped up to this first line with Bertuzzi not playing there, because I think it's more relative to like Yarncroke being in that spot, was where you get that more demand from the fan base of like put Nyes there, and I kind of fall into that boat. But I'm wondering if the only reason he's not jumped into that is because the last couple of games it started to look like Max Domi has found something, and I'm wondering if this is in relation to playing with Nyes and Nyes' playing style.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think what it is Keefe is trying to spread out his offensive potential as much as possible, and Nyes
Yeah,
is the best player remaining to bump that third line up to give it some
yeah.
kind of offensive threat, right? To be
Because
because
think about how
Nyes creates
drastically
play.
different that line is if it's Yarncroke instead of Nyes
Yes,
there.
yes, nothing's going to happen. But not, I agree,
Yeah.
100% agree. I just want to see Nyes with Matthews and Marner because I just
Oh,
think that is a line made in heaven. He's a
yeah.
big guy. He can get in there like I said on the last show on the comment. I said he's like he can get in on pucks like Zach Hyman, but and he can pull something and do something better with it. He's better at doing something
Yes.
with it than Hyman when he's got the puck. We can see he's got the skill. He's got the shot. He can go. He can drive the net. Even if he's a young guy who maybe doesn't have the defensive awareness, he'd be playing with the two of the best defensive forwards in the NHL in Marner and Matthews. So you don't have to worry about the defensive end of the puck on that time. That line is it's just waiting to happen. But you can see that Keefe he's kind of in a spot like I got to spread it out because if I take Knives off that line, it's going to be a
Mhm.
nothing line. They're just going to be one of those yarn crocs skating around 100 miles an hour and slappy slap, shin pad, stick tap, tappity tap tap tap, and then Domi. I've been watching him, and what I notice his issue is watch the next game. Wherever the most open ice is, that's where Domi is. He's skating around with the most open. He's out. He's like a half or a second behind or outside of every single play. He's trying to get open to get the puck, so he's hitting open ice. But then the other team gets the puck, and he's 2 steps away from making a defensive play on him. He's always in between the play, and I think he's running around too much. He looks like he's running around, and he's running himself right out of place. And then when he gets the puck, he's either he's been trying to be really quick and clever with it because now he's on a quick, clever puck moving team, and he wants to be like that too. And he'll slop the puck up a little bit, trying to be too quick with it, or he'll hold on to it too long indecisively. So he looks in between on almost everything, on the plays, on the puck. Like he made obviously a beautiful assist to Nice the other game. Had a good
Yeah.
game. Getting a little bit better, but that's
Okay.
what I
Yeah.
noticed. What his defects are. Like I don't want to be totally jumping. I'm happy with Domi, but that's what I noticed where his weakness is. He looks like he's in
Yeah.
between his positionally, he's in between the play. I think that's why he's not defensively a good player because he's too often outside of the reach of the opponent when the opponent's got the puck because he's not in the right spot. He
Well,
doesn't
I was gonna say
anticipate.
this, Gord. I think that part of it, and I think that it's getting better because this is where I was gonna push back on you on a little bit, but you started to say it as well. So I think you're closer to where I'm at on him now. Is I agreed with you 100% for probably the first 4 games. I think about halfway through Tampa, you could kind of see that change starting, and then obviously the plays that he made to Nyes on the tying goals, I think it started to kind of clue in there. You can kind of see him going in and out of it in the game on Tuesday against Washington, and I kind of saw the same thing here against Dallas tonight, where it was like in and out, but I think he's making progress in the right direction. I think he just was thinking way too much to start this season, and I think that there's elements of it in his game right now. I don't think he's ever going to be a good defensive player. Like, I just don't. I don't think he's ever been that in his career. So I think if we're gonna expect that's we're just. I'm not saying you and I
Yeah.
personally, but just as a whole,
I
like we're
agree.
just in the wrong. We're just in the wrong boat. But I think that he was just thinking too much, and I think that leads to him being in those spots that you're saying, and I think that that's kind of where that comes from, where it's like, okay, we have the puck, I need to be going to here, where instead it should just be like, I mean, it's like a dumbed down way to say it, I guess, maybe, or like a brickhead kind of way to think about it, but it's like sometimes, man, just feel the game. Like, you don't gotta be thinking at all times like, I have to move to this spot and then to this spot and then to this spot. It's like, go with the flow of it. Go where it makes sense. Go to open space, but don't do like what you're saying, where it's like force yourself into some open space that's not really open space, because it's just ice. It's not actually open space to anybody that matters. And then defensively, the same thing, where it's like thinking too much, where it's delaying things, and then it's overcompensation, and it's going to the wrong spots on the ice, where you don't need to do that. Just
I think for him,
the game.
I think for Domi, he's good when he's really hounding. Like, you can see every once in a while he'll get pissed off, and then he just goes aggressively hounding the puck and getting the puck back, and then creating some offense out of those kind of turnovers, rather than if a teammate's got the puck, he'll go and he'll search for the open space, and he's looking for the puck, and he wants the puck in a good position on the rush, and he'll cheat. Yeah. He'll cheat to get into that spot. And what happens is he just puts himself out there in no man's land way, way, way too often. Once I said this, you watch next game, you go, I see what Gord's saying. Yeah. I see what he's saying. It'll be clear unless he picks it up, which I don't think he will, because I've noticed that right from the get-go. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about is Bertuzzi's sloppiness. And I'm not talking about the way he dresses. I'm talking about his play is sloppy as F. Like, I don't know. Like, he got a nice tip goal, and I'm happy he's on the team. I'm not going to be a Bertuzzi detractor, but having watched 7 games and seeing him every game, I'm seeing certain things that bother me, and the slop is one of them. Like, I think I don't know how many times I've seen him pass a puck in the skates and not the stick. There was one play today where I think it was the first period, like near the end of the first period, it was like a turnover, which he caused. Like, he got the turnover, and then they had the rush going the other way. They had Riley on the far side, just crossing the blue line, and the puck got a little bit ahead of him. Instead of taking a stride, picking up the puck and easily throwing it over the Riley, would have been a 2-on-1. He just waved at the puck and slapped at it, and it went off the end of his stick, and the defenseman for Dallas picked it up and broke up the play. That was one play. And another play late in the second, he's coming over the blue line, and he does a drop pass right to the opposite team. He dropped it right back to the Dallas guy. I'm like, what? I don't know if you can recall those plays, but he looks like out of control and sloppy a lot of the times. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but out of control and sloppy. There's a number of plays I saw tonight that were just absolute slop, which is why I can see him on the first line being a guy getting in there heavy on the forecheck, loosen pucks, drive to the front of the net. He's not shy about the front of the net. He'll go there. He's like definitely good in that sense. But in terms of playing up with the top line, I'd much, much rather have Nyes, a guy who's much slicker with the puck, a guy who can make plays, a guy who's got a better shot. I think just get him up there, and don't put him up there for a game or two. Like, put him up there for 5 games. Yeah. Give it 5 games. Like, let's see what, like, when Keefe does all those blender stuff, like, let some stay. I mean, I understand what I'm saying. I understand what we were talking about earlier, where he wants to spread it out so he can have an offensive threat on the third line and get that line going, right, and get Domi going. So, yeah. So that's my observations to date. So quite a bit of stuff there.
Yeah.
Sorry for dominating the chat as usual, but yeah, it's been 7 games. So those are some of the things I've been noticing.
No, it's all good. I appreciate it. I wanted to hear. I needed some perspective on what was going on. But yeah, I mean, look, here's the only thing I'll say with Bertuzzi, and maybe I'm just a little bit of an apologist at this point in time. I really am like holding out for him to be good. I got to see we got to see his play against the Leafs when he's with Detroit a bunch of times. You get to see him playing in the Atlantic Division against other teams. We watched him play in Boston. Like, he's very clearly got it, right? Like, you don't just go and hop in with the Boston Bruins like that after being pretty successful with Detroit, go to the Bruins, be that good with Boston to close out the regular season, and then into the playoffs and play with elite players, and then come here to Toronto, and then it's like, oh, like, he can't do it? Well, no, like, he clearly can. So I just keep saying in my mind, like, okay, it's gonna get there. But I think your assessment of where he's doing right now, pretty accurate. I don't know. I'm having a hard time with it because truly, like, again, maybe I am just being an apologist and I'm just going to be like looking at him with
No,
like
I
rainbow
think
glasses or whatever. But yeah.
yeah, no. I think the thing with the Bertuzzi is, and this is the benefit of Bertuzzi, is when it is playoff time, there's a guy who doesn't play scared. This is not a gutless guy. This is a guy
Yeah.
who's not afraid of a game 7. This is not a guy who's not afraid of the big moment. Like, he just dropped the puck. He's like a dog on a bone, right? Like, you can see his character, right? It's just go, 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 which is why he's effective in playoff hockey, because playoff hockey isn't all this smooth moving the puck around shinny hockey. It's more gut it out, grind it, drive the hit, go to the dirty areas, get the greasy goals in front of the net, work for the puck down low, work hard down low, keep cycles alive by, like, all of that stuff that he does well. That's playoff hockey. So I'm not concerned about him, but all I'm saying is at this point, I would rather than him up on the top line. I think he's fine on the second line with Nylander and Tavares, because he's like their Hyman, right? The guy, get in there, dig out, loosen pucks, and like you pointed out earlier, like Nylander is, you don't even have to have guys going digging out pucks for him anymore. He's going to do it himself. He's in beast mode. Like that assist on Riley, like, just, he muscled out 2 guys down low for that puck. He went down, muscled out 2 guys down low, took it out, and just undressed the guy for a beautiful silky backdoor backhand pass. Like, but that getting the puck is just, and he's been doing that from the get-go. So I like Bertuzzi on that line, but I understand Yarncroc, but fuck, put Yarncroc down lower in the thing and put Nyes up there. Can't Yarncroc, Domi, and Yarncroc and Kampf are both defensive players, right? So put them, and can't. The thing is, can Domi and Yarncroc make plays? Can they score?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Doesn't
Yarncroc leave you wanting all the time? Like, he's defensively sound. You're going, oh, look at him. He's in the right spot. He's
just not a driver.
He's not a driver, and he's just doesn't have that enough to finish plays or to make plays that can be finished. Like, So yeah, it's a tough spot. It's a really tough spot. And what do you think about, this is maybe the last thing, and I'll let you go. Another thing about, like, I get Minton needs to go back to junior and develop more or whatever. Like, I'm always of the opinion, if a guy's ready, he's ready, right? And I don't know how playing against juniors is going to help him develop a game. Like, I get the World Junior Championship, that experience, that'll be good for him. But I don't know if playing against fucking junior players, he didn't look bad. He looks better than Holmberg. He made more plays than Holmberg. He got in on checks. He was in on spots. He wasn't like jumping off or anything like that. But the thing is, you don't want to have him as a healthy scratch game after game after game after game.
That's the only thing.
You don't want that at all. But like, I don't know. Would you have him in over Holmberg? Like, if you just had to take the player, not think once about, okay, I want this guy to develop and just, play whatever, 20 minutes a night in junior and blah, 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 where he's getting all kinds of ice and blah, blah, blah. But he's not playing against horses down there in junior. So it's not like, what are you dominating? You're not a scorer. He's the type of guy, and they said this from the get-go about him. They go, he's got a pro game. And what they meant was a pro game. He's responsible. He's responsible defensively. He reads the plays well, all of those things. He's not going to go up and be he's not going to be a 30, 40 goal scorer. He's going to be more like a Doug Risebrough type of defensive type of forward for the rest of his career, probably. Sorry, that's a bit of an old reference, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say. That one went a little over my head, but fair enough.
Yeah. So just think of a good, solid third-line defensive forward who's got some skill and could probably score like 25 goals a year at like that type of thing, right? Maybe get a 30-goal year. I don't know, but that's probably going to be his ceiling. But he's already got that skill for all the other part right now. I don't know if it's just their knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, we got to send him back because we can send him down, because he's eligible for, we can send him back and blah, 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 development. There's other guys who step right into the league. They don't have to worry about their development. You know what I'm saying? Like Bedard, you don't worry about his development, but he's a goal scorer. So you say, well, he's ready because he's just this outstanding goal scorer. Well, Minton, he's not a goal scorer, but is he ready for what he does? And what he does is that defensive style game. And is he better than Holmberg, or is Holmberg better than him?
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, the Bedard thing I think is a different scenario, but just because I think
he's the extreme, but there are other guys in there that are
I see what you're
19-year-olds that are playing in the NHL right now as we speak, right? That aren't.
So the only thing that I think,
the
only thing that I think with this is like, I have a hard time personally with some of these like development, like do develop, don't develop, send the guy to junior situations. Because I don't really know. I'm not necessarily the best at like evaluating the player development type side of things. So I can't really speak to it from that standpoint. I think that you're probably right, especially in terms of like what is that going to do for him going down there. It's not like he's really going to develop his game, but the only thing that I think might help is like if he just goes and lights it up, it's like a confidence thing where he's like, hey, like I am too good for this, I can hop up. Then at the end of his season he can hop up and join the AHL team and jump into there, and then maybe he can go up and down to the Leafs from that point. So I don't know, like that's kind of where I'll just leave that at. I don't really for me to try to like
I don't know either. Like, I don't know the development
the only thing that I would say,
hard for us to comment on that because we don't know. Like, and I don't know, you talk about development now, but the way hockey players are developed from like type, they're all like the power skating and they have systems and pee-wee. And by the time you get up to the junior hockey, there's not much hockey left to learn, right? So you're not really learning hockey. So it's just a matter of getting ice, getting reps, getting accustomed. So what I'm saying is it really for his kind of hockey, not the goal scoring hockey, not the, where he's just going to go into junior and like, it's like, shinny hockey in a men's league going around and scoring 3 goals a night like Bedard does, right? So where he's just like, what's the point in him even staying there anymore when it's just like a man against boys kind of thing? Yeah. Where his game is a totally different game. And is it really going to benefit him playing against smaller, lesser players than it is to playing up against men in the NHL, which he has shown that he's not I don't see him getting outmuscled or outmatched or anything. He hasn't scored, but so what? Neither is Holmberg. Neither has, neither.
So here's the
Gregor
only
has.
pushback I would have on it that I think maybe they're just looking at. And as I'm hearing you say it, I'm thinking more and more that this could be where it's at, is like they do see an opportunity for Minton to be a better player. And you referenced or talked about the idea of him sitting in the press box or being healthy scratched or having that guy be healthy scratched. Maybe they just look at Holmberg and they're like, this is the type of player he is. There's not like this big arc or climb that he can go on as a player. And where they're at right now, we think Holmberg can just go in and be an NHL player, and that's kind of like it. Bobby McMahon can be an NHL player. Steves can be an NHL player, whereas they look at Minton and they go, you're as good as these guys right now, but we think you can get a lot better. But maybe the worry for them is like, if we have to put
You'll have a bunch of bad games pile up on you, and suddenly your confidence is going to get crushed, and then you're going to be in
and
a
then
suit
we're going to put
again.
you in the press box, and then you're fighting it constantly. And like the problem is, once he goes past the 9, they're not going to send him to them, or they can't send him to the Marlies once he goes past the 9, I don't think. And then once he goes past the 9, now he's stuck with this NHL club until the end of the season, and then it's like you're just here, and if you're not in, like, you're in the box, and if you're in the box and you're not developing, and then you can stunt the growth. Whereas they look at the other guys and just go like, for now, without us having to be in that situation where we're pressed up against the wall with Minton there, you can go back to junior, come back next season, and then next season he's in a different spot because he can go to the Marlies, he can go to the Leafs.
Or come back after the World Junior Championship, right after the World Junior Championship, and the trade deadline, they make some moves, and then bang, he can walk in. And
but for now, you don't need to do that.
For him to work there. Yeah, I think that's you're probably bang on about that. That's the thinking for sure. That's the thinking for sure. Okay, glad we figured that one out.
I got one more question for you. Also, I do see something from Denver, Charlebois here. I just want to answer this quickly. He says, would you like to see Connor Timmins come up? He will come up. He's injured right now. That's why he's not here. He will come up, though. He played very, very well in the preseason.
Who's going to be the guy in? Will it be that Poulin guy, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna come out for him, or whatever it's gonna be. But what is it? Pouliot? Is that Benoit Pouliot?
Yeah, and I'm just saying because if McCabe can't make
Simone
the
Benoit,
next game, right?
Simone Benoit, that's it.
Yeah, Benoit.
I'm trying to think of that name.
Benoit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, then you got me thinking about a different player on that. Yeah. But yeah, so Timmins will come up injured right now. Gord, I do have one last question for you before I let you go, and then we'll get through and wrap up the show here. Ryan Reeves. He's being pretty controversial in the media here for people in Toronto. Analytics people are losing sleep over the fact that he's on this team. People who just watch and old-time hockey people are loving him because despite the fact that he's not producing expected goals for every game, he brings some type of physicality. You can very, 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 very clearly tell the impact that he's making on the players, and you don't see that on a spreadsheet, but if you've coached like you do, if you've played on teams throughout like I have, and I'm sure many people in chat have at points in their lives, you can get an idea of what someone like that means to a locker room, and especially one here in Toronto that over time has been accused, I guess is maybe the right word, of being lifeless, having no character, being cliquey, not being unified. And you bring in a guy like that, it's much, much different. And it creates a different vibe around the team and around the locker room. I think it brings a lot that way. No, honestly, no shit. His expected goals and advanced analytics aren't going to be good. Have you watched him out on the ice? Like you can eye test that one.
He's a fourth liner. I mean, people are.
Where are you at?
Some people are. I think some people are overreacting to, like, I heard O-Dog talking about the fourth line getting hemmed in, and you can't keep getting hemmed in like that. And I saw them hemmed in maybe just a couple of times, but I saw them have a couple of good shifts where they're hemming the other team in just on the heavy forecheck. So, look, they're the fourth line. They're not gonna get a lot of ice anyway. And maybe Reeves isn't in the lineup come the playoff time, but after 82 games, you're probably going to have a healthier Leafs lineup because Ryan Reeves is in the lineup during the regular season, making sure
Right.
guys aren't taking liberties with your stars, right? And there's games like that Minnesota game, big hit, scrap after. He had an impact on that game. I like him. I like Ryan Reeves. Look, if you're gonna have a tough guy, you might as well have the toughest guy. So I like him on the team. I think maybe in the playoffs, if his foot speed he can't keep up with it, you might have a guy like McMahon come up who's got some speed, who can also play physical hockey. It's not doesn't drop the gloves, but there's a guy who could step in. But I personally like, yeah, of course, everybody is bang on about it's a little bit too much money and 3 years, what the heck, all of that kind of thing, right? But maybe that's what you got to do to get the guy, right? So now you got the guy, and I think I like it, man. I like it. I definitely look. We talked last year about this. I think the reason the Leafs lost to Florida, they just got bullied out of that series. They got Bennett goes in. He hog ties collar. First he comes in. He butt ended Knives in the jaw. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about fighting. The 4 knockout points are either temple or either side of the jaw. Because twisting your head around quickly is how your brain cracks against your own skull, and that's where you get knocked out. So it's the crosses in boxing that knocks you out. He comes in from behind, winds up with the butt end, using the butt end of his palm to knock him out. Then he collars him, uses his own weight to smash his brains against the ice. Nobody did jack squat. After that, they're running around. Gudas running around. Tkachuk running around, punches in the face. And after that, if Reeves had been there, like that's a game where you need a guy like Reeves to just settle things down, all the running around crap, right? You stop that running around, because the Leafs played scared after that. The Leafs played scared. They really did. You could see it in their game. And Paul Maurice he's that kind of guy. He's an aggressive guy. He's like a torch guy. Like, he wants physical hockey, and he knows that you can intimidate the Leafs. And they went in there and they intimidated them. Their guys, they got, once Knives was gone, that was it. Knives was playing great after they ran around. So get that guy to stop that run around crap. And they do. Nobody's running around on the Leafs now. Nobody.
All right, Gord, I will let you get out of here.
So good for that. I like it. Yeah, he's got his foot speed is slow, and his analytics are probably crap, blah, 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 blah. But it's a long 82-game season, so it's good to have that guy to stop the crap.
Yes, agreed. I will let you get out of here, Gord. I'm going to wrap this one up shortly here. We do have play of the game and grades to wrap up before we finish this one, but I'm glad that you found the channel. Before we let you get out of here, and hopefully I see you Saturday night as well following that game, but before we leave, you're 7 games in now. You gave us the rundown on your thoughts through the first 7. Any hot takes, predictions, anything you got before you go?
No, so I pretty much summed up everything up. Like, first couple of weeks, a little bit too loose hockey, maybe too much sagging when the other team starts cycling the puck. Wall solid is calm. His demeanor is calm. His structure is like, it just looks like the net is covered, like between the legs. Like, I seen guys trying to go down low between the legs. Solid. He just solid all the way around, and his demeanor and his attitude. That was a little bit nuts how Domi said something about his demeanor reminding him of Carey Price. And then what's his name? Carlo Koliakovo gets on the first stop in the morning on the TSN and spouts off. And Domi said his play reminds him of Carey Price. He never said anything about his play. He just said his demeanor. Carlos goes on, and everybody ran with that. And next thing you know, Jamie McLennan the next morning is mewling about, now he's the next Carey Price. Relax, Jamie, relax. He just said his demeanor is like Carey Price's. Do you know what demeanor is? Get a friggin' dictionary, Carlo Koliakovo and Jamie Noodles McLennan. Get a dictionary. Demeanor, okay? Look it up, guys. That's all he said. And he does have a calm demeanor. And he is calm in net, and he's structured in net. And we're all loving it as Leafs fans. But as Leafs fans, we're all just waiting for the other shoe to drop and all of a sudden have the guy fall apart and be the next Justin Pogue or something, right? So,
oh, no.
I know. I don't even want – sorry I said it. No, but he honestly looks so sound. I'm not worried about that. He looks sound. So, yeah, that's basically summing everything up. So that's and there's some kinks that got to get worked out, and the lineup's not fully set in terms of, who should be playing with whom, but I really, really want to see Nyes up in that first line with Matthews and Marner for like 5 games. Please let it happen. Please let it happen.
All right, Gord. I appreciate you calling in here. All right. I appreciate it. I appreciate you calling in. I'm glad we were able to figure it out. Glad you were able to find the channel. So thank you for doing this here. Look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the season. Obviously, people will come back here to this channel. This is where we'll have post-game streams and much more of Gord's Corner. But Gord, thank you for calling in, and enjoy your Friday.
Thanks for having me. Okay, guys. See you guys in the chat. And we'll see you Hockey Night in Canada next time around.
Sounds
hockey
good.
night, hockey morning in Japan.
Yes, hockey morning in Japan. Well, thank you, Gord. Appreciate it. And we'll see you then.
Okay, cheers, guys. Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go. There you go. The man himself, Gordon Graham. Appreciate him calling in, as always. Now, we do have a couple things left to get to here in the chat. I appreciate everyone who's stuck here with us. If you are watching on Eastern Standard Time, you will have held on here until after midnight here tonight, so appreciate all the support there. You got 2 segments to get to before we wrap this one up, so first and foremost, let's get to the play of the game. Play of the game here tonight. This one very simple for me. I'm going to go with the William Nylander assist to Morgan Rielly. I do have some honorable mentions, though. That Nylander one is going to get all the love it deserves. I talked about it earlier in the show. If you didn't bring it up, or if you didn't see it, you can go back and watch it after the fact. For those who joined late, you can watch it about after. But the Nylander play goes into the corner, goes 1-on-2, wins that battle down low, comes out into the corner, able to beat the guy, and then make a beautiful pass into an open area, time and space kind of pass for Rielly to skate into, backdoor, and score. Backdoor. That is a beautiful play, and it just starts with William Nylander going and winning a forechecking battle against 2 guys behind the net, and that's not something we see from that guy regularly, so that's going to be my play of the game. I have 2 honorable mentions, though. 1, the Joseph Woll save on the backdoor, sliding across where he stretches out with his pads, makes the stop. Incredible save. That's going to be on every highlight reel. I already saw the NHL already posting that highlight, and as they should, because that was an incredible save by Joseph Woll. Timely save as well. And the second one that I will go with here as an honorable mention is going to be the Bertuzzi goal, but not because of Bertuzzi's goal itself. It's going to be because Austin Matthews passes the puck back to Matthew Nyes, and he lays out to stop the puck from going out of the zone, stands up quickly, and makes the pass over to Morgan Rielly. That is just an incredible play on its own. The athleticism, the hand-eye to keep that in, and then jumping up quickly, making the pass over to Morgan Rielly, and then shout out to Morgan Rielly, because that is a guy on this channel here. We've had enough issues with him not shooting the puck. He gets it, shoots the puck, it gets tipped into the net. You shoot the puck, good things happen, especially from the defense. We need these D to contribute more this season offensively, be more driving factors, not just through the regular season, but this has got to carry over into the playoffs. And as Gord says there, nice play, very nice play. So that will be an honorable mention as well. Now, final thing we get into here before we close this one out. Great.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I'm going to go very simple. You guys can let me know in the chat yours. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know your grade as well. Comment it below in the comments of this post-game live breakdown. I want to hear and see everyone else's, but my thoughts on this is I'm going to go with an A-. This is a road game. You started pretty strong. You did have some sloppier periods of time, but your goaltending was incredible. You got some contributions from the power play. You find a way to close this one out and hold on to the lead late. You also, on top of that, have Nylander and Tavares 7 consecutive games with points, which account for all 7 games to start this season. So great stuff from them there to start this year. They have been on fire. It's amazing to see that from Nylander, his consistency, his level of play, the elevation that he's taken year after year so far throughout his career, and then especially the jump that we've seen in his level of play, basically from preseason to the beginning of regular season to week by week, because seems like he's getting better and better and better. I fought off that yawn for a long time. And to be able to close this one out with Joseph Woll playing out of his mind, 31 saves here, 1 goal against, and .969 save percentage, I think is just another amazing game from Joseph Woll in a long road trip. You got one more game here Saturday night on this road trip, so looking forward to that one. But to everyone who tuned in here tonight, for all the new people who watch this channel, who watch this stream, I really, really appreciate it. Please, if you haven't already and you do enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. But just like this stream, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notified every time live streams happen or more videos come out. This is where I will be 100% of the time, well, on top of my day job, but this is where I will be outside of that at all points of time. So make sure to find me here, subscribe. This is where everything is. I do appreciate everyone tuning in here tonight. The Leafs winning this one 4-1 with an empty net goal. Joseph Woll out of his mind. William Nylander, JT. Incredible stuff from those guys. The Leafs go to 5-2 on the season. Would be 6-1 if it wasn't for that unfortunate loss to the Blackhawks, but it is what it is. Thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the show here tonight. Hopefully you continue to enjoy the content and subscribe to the channel. But Leafs fans, thank you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you Saturday. And as always,